Hi, this is Neil from EA Media. Well, the NAFTA renegotiation is about to start fairly soon, and there's word now that cybersecurity and technology is going to be included in the discussions, and it's about time. And that is what this video is all about. By the way, if you like this video, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can help grow the EA Media community. If anyone argues that cybersecurity isn't something you can argue with dollars and cents, just point them to the upcoming NAFTA renegotiations. A story out of the Washington Examiner titled "Cybersecurity Could Make an Appearance in NAFTA Talks" talks about how cybersecurity and cutting-edge technology are on the list of things they want to get included in the new NAFTA agreement. Now, for anyone not familiar with NAFTA, the agreement was negotiated originally as the US-Canada Free Trade Agreement back in the mid-80s. It was then extended to include Mexico in the early 90s. Anyone remember when the internet went live with the first website? That's right, 1994, after NAFTA was negotiated. So there's not going to be anything in the existing agreement about technology. To me, including an agreement about information flow and technology is just as important, if not more important, than any border tariffs and duties. In this day and age, information flows even easier than money across borders. There aren't any checks and balances, and there's a distinct lack of harmonization with regards to things like privacy laws. Also, it's now a case where the definition of work no longer is dependent on the location of the person. If, say, Xerox needs a security architect, they can have one on the Canadian side of the border just as easily as they can have someone in their offices in Virginia. The advent of things like VPN, Dropbox, and WebEx have allowed the creation of virtual teams for anywhere in the world. So, with a new president like Trump that touts bringing jobs back to the US, the ability to have virtual teams is a definite impediment. How do you deal with that capability? If you can't work physically in the US, but you can still work for a US company but located in Canada, is there any real need for these H-1B visas? Maybe the concept of a work visa goes away. Or maybe there will be restrictions on the ability for companies to use virtual teams. One approach completely defies the concept of bringing home jobs, and the other will drive up costs because, let's face it, there's already a lack of people with cybersecurity skills. Putting in restrictions on virtual teams will just make that need even worse. How about laws? Remember, NAFTA was just as much about harmonizing laws as it was about reducing trade barriers. Canada and the US have two very different approaches to privacy laws. BC and New Brunswick have even more restrictive laws about privacy. Will the NAFTA agreement force BC and New Brunswick to change their privacy laws? And what about things like HIPAA, the Health Information Protection Privacy Act that the US has? There isn't a similar law in Canada, so does that US law get adjusted? And then there's technology itself. I just talked about jobs and about laws, but what about technology? Will there be restrictions on the use of American or Canadian technology on either side of the border? I'm not aware of any currently, but Canada is also negotiating a free trade deal with China, which includes, amongst other things, the ability for Chinese companies, which often have the Chinese government as a shareholder, to purchase Canadian technology companies. Does that mean the US is going to try and limit the ability of other countries to buy Canadian companies? Does that then limit Canada's ability to open up free trade agreements with other countries? And I haven't even included Mexico in this combination of subjects. I definitely don't envy the trade envoys, since they have to figure out this to the benefit of all three countries, not just the US. Cybersecurity is about to get a whole lot more interesting moving forward. Hopefully NAFTA will make the laws and compliances a lot more seamless. Well, that's it for this video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and help grow the EA community. Also, I have a couple of other videos I thought that maybe you might enjoy if you like this particular video. Anyway, I'm Neil Rarup with EA Media, and I hope that helps.